Hello students and welcome back to our channel. We are starting again with a new chapter, analyzing consumers behavior with respect to what we had learned yesterday, last time we had dealt with the utility analysis where we can make out के consumer को क्या पसंद होता है, क्यों पसंद होता है, क्या नहीं पसंद होता है, क्यों नहीं पसंद होता है. Depending on his likes and dislikes, we can come to know about the demand analysis in an economy. That is how demand gets created. Demand gets created basically due to the likes and dislikes of a consumer. That is, and likes and dislikes are nothing but the utility that the consumer derived after making use of particular commodity or a services. Okay, so since utility forms the basis of demand, it becomes essential for us to understand what is demand and what is the demand analysis. Okay, so under this chapter we'll be dealing with the introduction part of the demand analysis. We'll be seeing meaning of demand. Along with that, we'll be seeing the demand schedule, which will explain you one particular individual demand schedule and market demand schedule along with its graph. All right, so let us start with the introduction part of it. So you have already studied the concept of utility in the previous chapter. Utility is the basis of demand. Utility may generate a desire. It may generate a desire, like it will tell you, utility may let you ask for something. Utility may make you go for using something, okay, or a need to have particular commodity. But utility on its own cannot generate demand. All right, until and unless you get satisfied with its use, you may not demand that particular commodity or service for the commodity. This chapter is an effort to analyze the concept of demand. Demand analysis is concerned with consumer behavior. Again, demand analysis is concerned with whom consumer behavior से concerned है. Okay, now going on with the meaning of demand. In ordinary language, demand means a desire. Okay, desire. And what is desire? Desire means an urge to have something. Okay, आपको कुछ चाहिए, कुछ किसी भी चीज़ की आप जो है यू फेल्ट कि मुझे इसको इस्तेमाल करना है. यू फील दैट आई शुड गो फॉर बाइंग दैट पर्टिकुलर कमोडिटी, आई शुड गो फॉर यूजिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर सर्विस. In economics, demand means a desire which is backed by, see this, demand means a desire which is backed by willingness and ability to pay. ये दोनों चीज़ें साथ में होनी चाहिए, तब जाके आपकी डिज़ायर जो है वो डिमांड कहला सकती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ़ अ पर्सन हैज़ द डिज़ायर टू परचेज अ टेलीविज़न सेट, क्या खरीदना है उसको? टेलीविज़न सेट, बट डज नॉट हैव द एडिक्वेट परचेजिंग पावर, then it will be simply a desire and not a demand. उसके पास क्या चीज़ नहीं है? परचेजिंग पावर नहीं है, यानी उसके पास एबिलिटी टू पे नहीं है. इसके लिए उसकी डिमांड जो है इकोनॉमिक्स में डिमांड नहीं कहला सकती. इट कैन ओनली बी अ डिज़ायर. Thus, demand is an effective desire. It is said that all desires are not demand. Okay, why? Because in short you can say this can be explained with the help of the equation given to you below. Demand is nothing but demand is equal to desire which is backed by willingness to purchase, and उसके साथ साथ आपके पास क्या होना चाहिए? एबिलिटी भी होना चाहिए to pay for it. Now, on the basis of above explanation, identify the concept here. A poor person wants to have a car. क्या एक गरीब इंसान कार खरीद सकता है? ये सिर्फ उसका क्या हो सकता है? डिज़ायर, क्योंकि उसके पास विलिंगनेस जो है लेकिन एबिलिटी टू पे इज़ नॉट देयर. सो व्हाट इज़ इट? दिस इज mere a desire. A rich person bought a car. He had a desire, he had willingness to purchase, and on top of it he was able or he is able to pay for the car. So उसकी डिमांड, डिज़ायर इज़ नॉट इट, उसका जो है this particular situation is not called as desire, but it is a demand since it is backed by willingness plus ability to pay. Okay, the definition of demand according to Benham, The demand for anything at a given price is the amount of it at a given price is the amount of it, कितनी quantity में आप उसको खरीद रहे हो, which will be bought per unit of time at that price. Suppose 2 liters of milk at 90 rupees per day. तीन चीज़ मिल रही है आपको, गिवन प्राइस 90 रुपीज़, ठीक है, अमाउंट ऑफ इट, ओके, 2 लीटर ऑफ मिल्क, कितने दिन, कितना टाइम के लिए, फॉर अ डे, ओके. सो इट इज़ रिलेटेड कॉन्सेप्ट. दिस टेल्स यू दैट डिमांड इज रिलेटेड टू टाइम एंड प्राइस. तो द फॉलोइंग आर द फीचर्स ऑफ डिमांड. ये तीन दो आपके जो है फीचर्स है. डिमांड इज अ रिलेटिव कॉन्सेप्ट एंड डिमांड इज एसेंशियली एक्सप्रेस्ड विथ रेफरेंस टू टाइम एंड price. With this we'll move on to demand schedule. Demand schedule is a tabular representation. Why it is called as tabular? Because it explains the demand with the help of a table. Okay, so it is a tabular representation of the functional relationship between price and quantity demanded. What sort of relationship it tells you about? It tells you about the functional relationship between price and quantity demanded for a particular commodity. A demand schedule may be either individual demand schedule और market demand schedule. इन दोनों के लिए आपको डिस्टिंग्विश आता है फॉर 2 मार्क्स, इंडिविजुअल डिमांड शेड्यूल एंड मार्केट डिमांड शेड्यूल के लिए, जो आपको शेड्यूल बनाना है और बेस्ड ऑन द शेड्यूल यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर अ ग्राफ. Individual demand schedule is the quantity of a commodity demanded by a consumer. We are starting with individual demand schedule here. What is individual demand schedule? Individual demand schedule is the quantity of a commodity demanded by a consumer. एक single consumer की डिमांड की मदद से आप देख सकते हो कि किस तरह individual demand schedule बनाया जाता है at a given price during a given period of time. Price and time, ठीक है. Now, individual demand schedule is a tabular representation showing different quantities of commodities that an individual consumer is prepared to buy at various prices over a given period of time. Now, this can be explained with the help of the following individual demand schedule. What it is telling you? It is telling you that it shows the different quantities of a commodities that an individual consumer is prepared ready to buy at various prices over a given period of time. All right, so here we have individual demand schedule. You can see this table indicating individual demand schedule. There are 2 columns provided to you. Column 1 for the price of commodity and other column is for quantity demanded of a commodity X in kgs. Okay, suppose a rice, simple example, suppose a rice at 10 rupees per kg जो है individual consumer will buy only 1 kg of rice because for him the price is too high. With a fall in price from 10 rupees to 8 rupees, consumer would prefer to buy 2 kg of rice. With a further fall, you can see his demand goes on increasing. With a fall from 8 to 6 rupees, his demand has increased from 2 kgs to 3 kgs. From 6 rupees to 4 rupees per kg, it has reached to 4 kg. And then with a further fall, that is from 4 rupees to 2 rupees per kg, consumer has started demanding more of the rice, that is he is preferring to have 5 kgs at 2 rupees per kg for the rice. So you can see there is a fall. If you can see a fall in price, then the demand for that particular commodity goes on increasing. Okay, so now you can see this, it shows different quantities of commodity X purchased by an individual consumer at various prices. These are the prices and the commodity purchased by the or demanded by the consumer at these prices. It can be observed that less quantity of a commodity is demanded. You can see here at the beginning, less quantity of the commodity is demanded at rising prices and more quantity of a commodity demanded at a falling prices. It indicates an inverse, this is very important term that you have to remember, inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. What does it indicate? It indicates an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Now on the basis of this schedule, you will be in a position to draw a graph called as individual demand curve. Individual demand curve is a graphical. It is a graphical representation of the individual demand schedule. Here you can see this figure 3.1 represents an individual demand curve, which is based on table 3.1. So here you have individual demand curve given to you in front of you. You can see y-axis and x-axis. On y-axis we are measuring price, and on x-axis we are showing quantity demanded in kgs. You have DD curve, which is nothing but demand curve to you. Now how do this demand curve is arrived? X-axis represents quantity demanded and y-axis represents the price of the commodity. The demand curve DD slopes downward from left to right. You can see this left to right, it is sloping, indicating an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Simple thing you have to explain. Basically what you have to show, that you have to show the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded with the help of the demand curve. At 10 rupees, consumer has demanded only 1 kg of rice. Then at 8 rupees, his demand goes on increasing. At 6, he has demanded 3 kg of rice. At 4, he has demanded 4 kg of rice. And at 2, his demand has reached to the highest peak. That is, he has demanded 5 kg of rice. Okay. So, I am stopping here. For further market demand schedule, we will go on with the next lecture. Thanks for listening.